What's up, guys? Coach Az answering your martial art based questions, and today we got a fun one. This guy has had enough. He's gone to training and he's got this certain person that he always gets partnered with. He says they won't shut up.
And one time at band camp, we weren't supposed to have pillow fights, but we had a pillow fight and it was so much fun. And this one time, we all lost our music and we were supposed to play this song, but we didn't know it. So we just made it up and we kept playing and playing, and the conductor didn't know what we were doing, and it was so funny.
They just talk all through every single drill, all through the class, and he's fed up of it. He said they're a nice person, nice guy. He doesn't want to upset them or offend them. He doesn't want to create a weird vibe in the gym because it's a small gym. He's going to see them all the time. But he's like, it needs to be addressed. He's like, I need a solution for it, because he doesn't feel like he can get into the groove or into the zone of training. And he said, I've got this like level of politeness where I can't just ignore him. I can't just not speak to him and get on with the drill. So I find myself replying, which then pulls me out of the zone. So it's, how do I approach it?
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, it's a common problem. It's around in a lot of gyms. I see it all the time. I've got it in my gym all the time. So let me go through it with you. The first thing I always try to do whenever anyone's doing anything where I'm like, why do you do that? Why are you like that? Is I do try to understand, why are you doing that and why are you like that? Because when we have at least the level of empathy for the person and their reasoning, it's far easier for us to understand them and then also to try and rectify the situation. Here's what I think is the most common reason that people do that. It's to help calm them. And that might sound strange to you because you're thinking, well, it's training. We're in a safe environment. I'm not going to hurt you. It's not even sparring. We're just doing some drills. But for a lot of people, they carry a lot of stuff in them, a lot of stuff that needs to come out. And when they come to martial art training in particular, and you start hitting stuff and you start breathing heavy and you get your heart rate up, a lot of that stuff can bubble up to the surface. I've talked about like emotions in sparring and how some of this stuff kind of bubbles up to the surface. And this happens for a lot of people. And the way they kind of diffract it and diffuse it is they start talking. They try to lighten the situation with light small talk. Now, I'm from the UK and I think it's an even bigger problem here sometimes because that's like a very English thing to do. Make some small talk about the weather is the famous one, right? Because it breaks the awkwardness and it breaks any kind of tension in the room. So they start training and maybe they start feeling some stuff. They start getting a little anxious. So then they just start talking to you and laughing. And it's all very, like you said, he's a nice guy. It's all very jokey. It doesn't mean anything. It's pointless, right? But for him, it's probably helping to keep him cool. We had it with a lady where we told her, you can't talk today. You have to train in silence. And about halfway through the class, she broke out crying. Like she got so pent up in it that she broke out crying. Not because we weren't allowing her to talk and she felt like, she couldn't talk, but because she didn't have that vent. She wasn't having that pressure release that she normally would have through the talking, and all that stuff I talked about, it bubbled up to the surface and she had a physical response with her tears. Firstly, have a little empathy towards the guy because I imagine that that's what's going on with him. Nonetheless, it's no reason, it's no excuse for you to have to tolerate it so that you can't train. Here's the way I'd suggest to approach it, and it's generally a good bit of advice for most of these situations where someone's doing something like this to you, is just nip it in the bud early. Nip it in the bud, nip it in the butt. I've never known what that saying is. Can someone comment below exactly how I say that? Here's what I try to do if I'm going to do it at all, right? We start the drill, bam, bam, they start talking, I stop. I stop the drill instead. I'm like, dude, is it all right if we talk after the drill? I just really want to get in these reps today. Is that cool? With a smile on my face, with the most like soft voice I can. More often than not, they're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And I'm like, it's completely cool. Let's chat after. Let's go. Your turn. Touch gloves. Get them to come at me. What you're doing there is You're obviously addressing the issue. You're telling the person, look, I don't want to have this conversation right now. But what you're also doing is you're letting them know you're okay. It's not a judgment on you, and it's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's I don't want to do it right now, right here. More often than not, that'll fix it. They won't talk to you there, and then they will chat to you afterwards. Sometimes it'll mean they don't want to partner you anymore. Not because they don't like you or they thought you were rude, but because you don't allow them that space to do that. And that's okay, really, isn't it? Right? That's cool, because you've not upset them, you've not done anything wrong. And if they choose to then not partner you because they're going to find someone else to do that to, fine, okay? If you're the coach in the room, try to get them at a point and talk to them about it. Now, I'm guilty of not doing this a lot. I've got a lot of students where I need to have that conversation with them and I haven't done. So if you're watching this channel and you know it's you, just stop it so we don't have to have that conversation.
Yeah. If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
I'm joking. We can have that conversation, but understand that a lot of it just comes from feelings within themselves, and all they're trying to do is they're trying to find a way of venting it out and making the situation less serious for themselves. Now, the other option is that you just ignore it completely. And this is what I'll often try to do with people first. Is they will talk to me while we're doing the drill, and the most I'll give them is a smile, and then I'll reply by doing the technique back. That's often more than enough, because once they know that they're not going to get kind of a back and forth between you, they'll finish the drill. Now, the important thing if you're going to take that approach is as soon as the drill is finished, then you need to explain yourself. Because otherwise, they're probably going to think you're rude. So get to the end, that bell rings, go, dude, I'm so sorry I didn't reply to you. I'm just in the zone with the drilling. I don't really like to talk while I train. Nothing on you. And then whatever they asked you or said, reply to them right there and then. Now, for some of you, you're probably just thinking, man, this is all real soft. I'm not going to do any of this. I'm just going to tell you to shut up. And if you don't shut up, then I'll partner with someone else. But I'm answering this guy's question and he said, I'm just not that kind of person. That's not my approach to things. That's not how I want to handle it. So if you are the type of person who can just tell someone to shut up and get them to walk away from you and partner someone else, then this video is not for you. You don't need to worry about it. But if you do want to maintain healthier relationships in your gym, like I said, he's talking about a small gym. Maybe there's only 10 of you in a room and it's the same 10 of you in the room every day. You do need to be careful with those relationships, because one sour relationship in a room like that can affect the energy for the whole room. And you don't want that. One person in that room feeling dejected can affect all of you, and it's going to negatively impact your training as well as everything else. So it is important to maintain a healthy relationship, but it is also important that people respect your training time, which is really what you're asking for. You're asking for them to respect that short window of time that you have on the mats to do this, because you've got all the rest of the time in the world to have conversations. Man, I hope that's been helpful. I hope that gave you something to think about with it. Guys, if you've enjoyed these videos, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.